what MMA represents in our culture is the ultimate legal test of a human being, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It manifests itself mainly physically because it's another person that's trying to dominate you in a fight. But through that physical manifestation and the ups and downs of a fight, you discover things about you. Things about your spirit, things about you emotionally, things about your drive, things about your mind and how far it's willing to push. And that's all come about because you're in this contest and you're fighting for your life.
Te mati here o te aroha ka rongo I te tangi.
It's week 2 of the Relentless fight camp. The contestants and the city kickboxing team have escaped Auckland to train at the Refinery martial arts gym in Fourgere, Raglan.
Well, Raglan was a mean experience. That's a beautiful place. Just feeling the mauri of the lands and feeling the mana of the people that were there.
Waking up where we stayed by the gym, just how peaceful it was. When you woke up, you could just look out and it was just nature, water, and it was just, I don't know, there was something about it that just made you feel at peace.
Ow, ow, ow! It's just a prickle, Alicia. It's just a prickle. Ow, there's so many.
But while the sea air has boosted the team's spirit, it hasn't quelled the competitive mood.
No such thing as prickles.
Because these 6 fighters are battling for the golden ticket for any MMA hopeful. A full-year scholarship at City Kickboxing.
The scholarship, to be honest, is the biggest thing for me because it makes everything so simple and straightforward. All I have to do is focus about my training and my dieting, and then everything else is covered.
Okay, 1, 2.
This year scholarship, it could help my game so much. Like not just training here for a year, but then also getting my food and accommodation. That is literally, that's the dream. Like I'd literally give me a full-time fighter for a whole year.
10. 1 to 10.
The Relentless fight camp spans 8 weeks. So even on the road, the training schedule is intense.
Couple more rounds. Ready?
But for Coach Eugene, this time in the regions is also an opportunity to engage with the wider martial arts community in Aotearoa.
MMA in New Zealand's quite well established as a sport, but I don't think people realise how accessible it is, that there's established gyms all up and down New Zealand, and in all the small towns you can go somewhere and there'll be an old martial artist teaching mixed martial arts. I heard a lot about what was going on down there at that gym in Raglan. This was a perfect opportunity to go down there and have a look at it for myself.
Whānau, or our whānau, have been here for quite some time. If you can imagine, just out here, in sort of the late 1800s, early 1900s, 400 or 500 people lived here. They all had community, they all had their whare, they got their kai from the sea. It was pretty much a self-sufficient community.
Te ingoa o te whenua nei, ko te kōpua, te papakainga tēnei o tōku whānau. I ngā rā o mua, he whare nui, he marae, e tū ana e konei. Engari I raupatu hia, te whenua e te kāwana, mō te pakanga o te ao, tuarua. He hiana rātou I te whenua mō tētahi papa tūnga wakarererangi.
So when the war ended, what they did was they made our home into a golf course. My grandmother, in 1978, she came out here and she had a protest. sort of demanded that the council and the government return the land to them. The cops were called, she got arrested, and she got locked up. And so that was kind of the spark that started the fire for the land struggle here.
Ko Eva Rickard, tōku kuia, o e pakanga taku kuia, mo te whakahokinga mai o te whenua. E ngā tauwaru tekau, I whakahokia mai. Ko taku kuia te tai o ngā wahine tuatahi I hoki whenua mai. He maha ngā Māori e pakanga ana mo te whenua, engari kare te whenua hoki mai. Tino motu hake, tēnei whenua ki tōku whānau. Nā te mea ko tēnei te papatupu o mātou tīpuna, e mena kare taku kuia e pakanga ana, e whawhai ana, e manawa titi ana ki te whakahoki mai te whenua. Tētai au, te tupu I konei, te tai aku tamariki, ngā mokopuna, te tupu ki rungi I tēnei whenua. En koe rā te take, a katu tēnei, a whare tū taua ki rungi I tēnei whenua I nāenei.
If it wasn't for her and her doing what she did, these buildings wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be here, this dojo wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the ability to share all of this place with you guys.
That was probably my favourite part of the weekend, Johnny Rickard's kōrero. To hear the mana that his nanny had to get their land back, it was inspiring for me from a perspective of be consistent and don't give up on what you want.
The first drill's really easy. I'm going to just throw a combo very light. She's going to defend it. And then after that, she's going to throw one back. Any combo you want, but make it slow enough they can read it.
The reason I fight, because it's my purpose. And I grew up as a young, angry kid. Didn't know how to control my emotions, didn't know how to control my anger. And boxing saved my life. My journey as an amateur boxer started in 2008. I went on to have probably 25 amateur fights. I was on the verge of securing myself a spot at the Youth Commonwealth Games. And then I got into a bit of trouble on the street. Ended up going to court for assault as a youth, and they banned me to box in New Zealand for 3 years. I was put on home detention for 6 months.
Reload, bang.
And I had to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Boxing was everything to me back in those days. Eventually, I found a kickboxing gym, and I've had probably 50 plus kickboxing K1 fights. I'd be on the verge of 100 all up, I'd say.
Okay, sprawl. Shoot.
What sparks me now? Knowing that I've probably only got a couple of years left in the game.
Last minute. This is where you got to pick it up.
I'm constantly in a battle with retirement, eh?
Got to finish strong. Come on, Chase.
You lose a fight, it's like, oh man, is that it for me?
3 seconds, keep it up!
I think Chase understands he is in the twilight of his career.
Time! Squat jump! Continuous!
But if he does what he needs to do, there's still some good opportunities out there for him.
Get your mindset in the right place. It's the second round. Maybe you lost the first, which means you've got to win 2 and 3. Put some pressure on yourself mentally.
I've always told myself I was going to retire by the time I'm 30. I'm 30 now.
2, 1, go!
But I've got a couple more things that I want to tick off before I go and kick back on the couch for the rest of my life.
Tau mai te Māori, ko te Māori o tū.
The Relentless team has spent a weekend of hard training in Whaingaroa.
It's actually in numbers, they say.
Tau mai te Māori, ko te Māori o rongo.
And before heading the road back to Auckland, the fighters are getting insight from another world leader in sport.
All right, team, kia ora, everybody. My name is Daniel Kiriupa. I grew up here, Whaingaroa. I used to walk to this beach a lot when I was like 8 years old, 9 years old to come surf. And I live surfing, love surfing. Been around the world with it, and now I'm back.
Ko te tai o ngā āhuatanga mō mātou I tupu ana ki rungi I tēnei whenua. Tino waia ana ki te tae ao. Tino rongo ana I ngā waiwai o ngā tūpuna e takahi ana I te mato o te whenua. E mua ia mātou. Ka kare kore mena kai te takahi koe I te whenua I reira. Ka rongo koe I te rā wairua, te wairua o ngā tūpuna. Me te waimari e hoki, ka taia mātou, te hikoe ki rungi I te rā whenua.
You guys come from a pretty awesome world of being fighters, and it's no different out here. Okay, it just means out there though has more control over you than you have over it. So you have to manage yourself when you're in the water. How do you as a participant work through your fears and boundaries to move forward into this game of surfing? Okay, ready? Legs together, squeeze your bum, chicken wings, head up, go!
Mehe mea mahi ana koe te martial arts. He momo whānau, tērā orite ki te whānau Māori, so me manaki, me tiaki, me poe, me aki I ngā tangata, e pakanga ana ki tō taha.
Eyes on, boys, oh!
Me hononga tangata, a he taura e here ai I ngā tangata. Nā te mei e tahi wā, ke te haere tātou ki ngā waihohonu, en ka reira o hoa, ki te whakahiki I a koe. Ko se hara I tēnei mahi I te mahi atu, I te mahi māma.
I ne pono o te maka era, whakateka ke ana, nei ko te mana toa, mātou whakatake kore rātou, kore take pore, kupu e pahawa kore hume ko rātou whiore. I ne pono o te maka era, whakateka ke ana, nei ko te mana toa, mātou whakatake kore rātou, kore take pore, kupu e pahawa kore hume ko rātou whiore.
Surfing. Yes, it was so fun. We really enjoyed this moment with everyone. First time for me in a wetsuit, because in Tahiti we don't need wetsuit. I really feel the energy of the wind, the sea. Maybe because I'm from an island. All the women in my family was a Tahitian dancer. After school, I would go to my dance repetition. It was a ritual. When you're Tahitian, you had to know dancing. I go to the gym first time. I was 22 years old. My life before MMA, I partying a lot and drank all the weekend. I doesn't have a goals in my life. I doesn't like sport. So it was just by curiosity, do the first class. I love it.
I think it was 8 years ago. Hannah and her sister come at my gym just to try MMA. She came a very small island. And MMA is pretty new here, but the level she reached, it's pretty amazing.
The first fight, I was very, very nervous because I fight in USA. And my opponent was very strong, and I was very small.
You can never know who the fighter really is until the bell ring, you know?
In life, I'm gentle, I'm nice, I'm maybe sometimes shy. But yes, during fight, I know that my opponent, she wants to kill me. So, okay, you want to kill me, I kill you first. During each session, I need to write on my phone, on my notes, because everything is English. The biggest problem for me is to speak English. I still make a lot of mistakes, but I don't care. It's a part of the process. Alicia translate for me some expression, so that's very cool. Sweet as. I learned the expressions, Kiwi expression, sweet as.
City Kickboxing is a world leader in mixed martial arts. And part of what makes this fight camp so invaluable to these 6 fighters is their access to the highest level in the world of combat sports.
Okay, I don't really need to introduce Israel Adesanya, but we're very grateful that he's volunteered some of his time, because his time is pretty precious nowadays. Israel Adesanya, a former UFC 2-time middleweight champion, gracious enough to lend us his time. He was very enthusiastic to come in and share his knowledge with the young fighters. I told him you guys are very, very talented. I've told him that what he will see in you guys is a little bit of himself when he was very young and up and coming.
Is he even? That was crazy. That was pretty crazy.
So, question mark kick. I like to use this pretty much just because it's so easy to fall for if you do it right, even if they know it's coming.
It's honestly unreal, the amount of knowledge we're getting.
When you're here, you don't want to look at the target and kick it, boom. Because at the high level, the guy will then see he's about to kick. He's looking at the target, look at the eyes, and then boom.
Coming on the show, I did just expect to be training with a bunch of people in group, but getting these one-on-one trainings with UFC superstars, I'm just soaking it all up while I can.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, they got it. Keep going, guys. Try a few more. Just focus on the technique.
He showed us question mark kicks and different ways to set it up, which was really helpful from him because he's pretty good at them.
Beautiful, nice, awesome.
I suppose all of us are probably in awe.
Boom, beautiful, nice.
He's the man. Like, he's a man inside and outside of fighting. I think he could have showed us just about fucking anything and we would have been like, oh my God.
Israel came to me at an age very similar to a lot of the young fighters on Relentless. He came to me with a very clear, defined goal. And if you want an example of focus and keeping your eye on the prize, what he achieved was after 10 years of trying to get there.
During the 8-week fight camp, the Relentless team are living and training like professional athletes. It's a taste of that prize they all have their eye on, an all-expensive paid scholarship to train full-time at City Kickboxing for a year.
Being able to train full-time, there's no other thing I'd rather be doing. I would way rather be pushing myself into the ground than going to work a normal job.
1, 2, 3, 4 on the wall.
I've always wanted to be a wrestler. I was always a fan of pro wrestling or WWE, I guess. I remember like lunchtimes with my friends, we would just play wrestling and I was always like, I'm tough, I can beat these guys, you know? First time I actually competed in wrestling was 10. My second fight, I fought the 3-time New Zealand champ. I lost to him 3 times in a row that year. And then the next year, I beat him 3 times in a row. We ended up going to the Youth Olympics for amateur boxing. And then I just kind of dove into MMA.
As a fighter, yeah, he's special. 100% should be in the UFC. He's the IMAF amateur world champion. 69 countries, 36 people in his division, and I think he got punched twice in the whole tournament.
Case was just naturally quite good. He was competitive. He still is. When someone starts an endeavour so young, there's those mid-teen years where it could go astray, but, you know, he hasn't faltered on that.
I don't think he's got too many interests outside combat sports. He's been, from such a young age, so dedicated and committed to it. Now it's taken up most of his life. He deals with adversity calmly. He knows where he needs to be and how to get there, and even if it requires, you know, taking some punishment, he'll deal with that without losing focus.
Takiri mai, I te ao Tākiri mai I te pō Ko taku mana tēnā E tu ake nei
Kasem, from a coaching perspective, was probably one of the guys I was most excited about. This workout is called lactic power. You have the long rest and your body recovers. You have the long rest, body recovers, you have your long rest. I know that he has very good amateur credentials and I've coached against him. So he's fought one of my guys and my guy was really good and Kasem managed to beat him pretty handedly. Anyway, we're pretty warm. We'll get this party started. It filled me with a lot of intrigue about what his capabilities are and maybe gauge how far he can go in the sport. 3, 2, 1, go! Cut across, keep going. Keep it working, keep it working.
If you're not pushing your limits, you're probably not going to get the improvements.
Push for the top, push for the top, push for the top.
When you're in that red zone and you are pushing your limits, that's where you get those improvements.
Get that heart rate up. Dang. Hand it down.
I think to grow, it's not going to be easy. You've got to be disciplined. You've got to go through something like an 8-week training camp that's just grueling. That's how you get better.
Go. Just push for the top now, push for the top.
I don't know, I suppose that's just that competitive thing. I just know where I want to go.
Time.
I think being at City, I've kind of got a taste of how some of those high-level guys are.
Go!
There's so much that I can work on and get better at before I'm at that level.
15 to go. You're nearly there. A bit further. Oh, that last little bit. Oh.
Like the sand dunes, I'm not the quickest sprinter, but doing things like this, making myself uncomfortable, it's just going to help me get to where I want to be later.
Yes. Yeah, jump in. I try to keep it reasonably healthy, so it's just Subway.
The team have made it through another week of the Relentless fight camp, and camaraderie is forming.
We'll just eat, grab a drink, grab your food, and then we'll jump in there and we'll start this movie.
The coach Eugene has one more trick up his sleeve this week, and that might shake the team out of their comfort zones once again.
We're at Eugene's house, gearing up to watch the Stylebender documentary.
Before we get into it, we also have some special guests. And what's actually going to happen today is the 6 is actually going to turn into 8. This is Corin. This is everybody. Kyle. And this guy's familiar to one of us. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much. Very much pleasure. Family reunion.
Kyle is my brother, my smaller, older brother.
Brody, did you know he was coming?
I was like, well, you dog, you done well to keep that a secret. Like,
Far out. They sort of surprised us. Yeah. But hey, that's the game, mate.
Hau kere kere tiara, hau hinga atu, hau hinga mai. Mararo mai koe marunga mai au, ngā tokai, takoto mai rā. Hau kere kere tiara, hau hinga atu, hau hinga mai. Mararo mai koe marunga mai au, ngā tokai, takoto mai rā. Ana whana te paku ehi, ko tahi atu ki te moro o te rahi. Neke neke mai koe a taku ahi, pākai riri aku taira. Whana, tā